Hey, good morning. This is May Valensky with Driving Markets. Okay, so the main aspect or the main factor yesterday was the 7 o'clock UK time result of the Fed meeting and the increased rates by 50 basis points. Now, that was expected and that was absolutely fine. The market wasn't too sure yet how to interpret it. And then the FOMC chair, Jerome Powell, came out and said that they're monitoring inflation, but they don't plan to raise rates by 75 basis points at the next meeting, and they'll do moderate or relatively not aggressive raises over the next till the end of the year, and they're going to start their reducing of their $9 trillion balance sheet in 1st of June. So let's just go over that again. So Jerome Powell, or the Fed, unanimously increased rates by 50 basis points. They unanimously agreed that by the 1st of June, they're going to start reducing the $9 trillion balance sheet. And the market shot up. Why did the market shoot up? Not only shot up, the Dow went up nearly 3%. The Nasdaq went up over 400 points. The S&P, there was a massive relief rally on the back of that there's not going to be a 75 basis point increase in interest rates in June. That's what the Fed chair said, Jerome Powell. And throughout the year, they're going to increase rates, but they're probably going to go to 3.25%. Okay? Now, on that particular point there, I don't accept it, and I think it's totally wrong. I think the Fed is well behind the curve, but the markets liked it. The markets warmed to it because they were looking for good news, and it was a relief rally, and everything now is hunky-dory. It's all okay. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Back to normal. Inflation's under control. The Fed's under control. The Fed's going to control inflation, and we can go back to playing the normal happy Wall Street game that the market's going to shoot up over the next 10 years again. Wrong. It's not going to happen. What's going to happen is there's going to be continuous inflation because underlying inflation is there and it's not going to go away. The Fed is well behind the curve as well as the Europeans are and the UK is. In fact, the reported inflation, let's call it headline inflation, is running at 7% in UK and 8.5% in America. Those figures are completely and utterly wrong. If you look at a simple factor, let's take a simple factor. So yesterday I was talking to someone who's in the lumber industry. Okay, so the lumber industry, he orders lumber from China. So that China now has to deliver the lumber over to the States or to Canada or to Mexico or to Europe. And that lumber is not being cut. Why is it not being cut? Because there's a shutdown on the factories in China due to COVID-19. So that immediately the supply chain at that particular level is stopped. It's not happening. Now let's go further back. In order to get the lumber to the factory, you've got to have the delivery of the trucks bringing the lumber from the forests. That's not happening because there's a shutdown in China. So what do? He was telling me that the lorry drivers try to break through the lockdown, and what they try to do is they deliver the lumber at 3 a.m. in the morning, but they were turned back by the roadblocks back to the lumber cutting or the lumber forest, whatever the case may be. So therefore, the lumber's not getting to the factories. If it's not getting to the factories, then that lumber is not getting over to the builders and not getting over to the flooring and not getting over to other constructive industry. And therefore, that is causing a backlog in supply, which means that the price of goods just on that particular area alone is going to go up. Therefore, you're going to have inflation raging on a supply-based issue. But then you've also got a demand-based issue where the demand for products is an all-time high due to full employment. When you go full employment, people are making money and they want to spend. When they go out to spend those goods or spend their money on those goods, what's happening is that they increase the demand, supply is not there, therefore the price is going up. So all of those factors that are not included in the daily or in the inflation basket, everything outside the inflation basket, the inflation measure, is not considered inflation. Well, inflation's running at 20, 30, 40% on the non-core basket of goods where the governments and the banks measure inflation. So once you start talking about lumber or trainers or shorts or sunglasses or creams, those are not part of the inflation measure, but yet all of those things have gone up 30, 40, 50%. So how can inflation be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8%? It can't be. Inflation, as we all know, is super high because we are living every day buying those goods, and we can see that the prices are high. Not only the price is high, the delivery of those goods is particularly slow. So you've got a double factor of high demand, low supply. Inflation is going to be with us for the next 2 to 3 years, and the Fed is well behind the curve and is not waking up to the reality that they need to start increasing interest rates significantly. Otherwise, we ain't going to get anywhere, and the cost of living is just going to go up and up and up. Okay, that's my brief account of inflation. Where we're going to go now regarding interest rate, regarding markets. So the markets are very comfortable, they're happy, they now know the news, there's no fear factor anymore because everything is under control. Wrong. Wait for inflation to be reported over the next few months and there'll be panic again within the markets, and you see the markets go down further because we haven't solved the problem. Cryptos also went up. I can see them going down further in the near future. So overall, I still believe that the markets will be down by the end of the year. This is Meir Walensky with Driving Markets. Have a good day.